THL. Hi. Okay, ready guys? This is me. Hi, it's time for Diana the Happy Lawyer, Sunday night. Yay. Okay, so once again, I went to see my friend John today, and I'm traveling on my way back home and not in my usual spot. But that is not going to stop me from being the happy lawyer at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. I am a passenger in a car, so I have a live audience with me now. This is the first time I'm doing my show. Yay! I have Lisa the live audience, and Carmine the driver, who's very carefully watching because traffic is a nightmare. But we actually just saw an overturned vehicle that must have just happened, really horrific. So we're just happy to be going slow and not worrying about being home at any specific time, because as long as we get home safely, that's the most important thing. So last week I talked about starting over. If you fall, just get up and start over again. And that's really an important thing, because I've been stumbling and falling a lot lately on my specific jobs and general jobs and things that I want to do in my life, and it just seems like I can't get started. I keep running into roadblocks, and really the truth is, here's the traffic. We finally caught up to the traffic.
This is it.
This is it. Minutes. All right, that's okay, no big deal. So really I find that the roadblocks are things that I'm putting up in front of myself. It's a very strange thing to put roadblocks in front of yourself for your own goals. I mean, you'd think you would want to get to your goals. You think you'd want to do everything you can, and you can't wait till you wake up in the morning and start your day, with a great, foundational exercises or meditation or something that's going to, help you move through the day more smoothly. But instead, you hit the snooze button, you sleep a little later, you drag yourself around the house, or, my old routine of cleaning out the sink before I left for the house, which now I cleaned out the night before, or I don't care anymore. Or even just throwing in a load of laundry, anything that will distract you from doing what you should be focusing on. And it's kind of strange to put those roadblocks in front of yourself to stop yourself from getting onto your goal. But I do it, and I assume that we all do it. So, last week when I talked about if you stumble and fall, just get up and do it again. But then, you might find that those same roadblocks there. Again, the same roadblocks. How does that happen? I know they're there. I put them there, and then I run into them again. So it's kind of weird. So this week's lesson is when you get into a funk, how do you get yourself out of the funk? Like, what do you do? What do you actually do? What do you guys do? Tell me what you do to get yourself out of a funk. Now, I had a really great conversation yesterday with my friend Bob, and we were talking about what is a funk. We all use that term. Oh, I'm in a funk. What does that even mean? So this is what we thought. It means that the chaos, like you're in chaos, literally. There's so much chaos going on around you. There's a lot of stuff to do. You don't have enough time to do it. There's people that are blocking you from doing it. You're blocking you from doing it. Other things are blocking you from doing it. I'm trying to get home now to get to do the show 8 o'clock from my house. The traffic is blocking me from doing it. I don't even care about that, as you know, as long as I get home safe and I'm able to do my show from here. But the chaos goes on all the time. And then what happens to me is, when I have the chaos going on and everything's going on at once and I have so much stuff to do, I end up not doing anything. It's kind of weird. Like, even if I just did one thing, it would make the chaos, that one less thing, better. But instead, I do nothing. I'll, God help me, I'll spend an hour on Facebook. If I'm lucky, it's an hour. Or I'll, listen to something else that's not promoting my goals or my dreams or things I want to do. And it's literally like having your feet with like cement on them, like cement or like gum. More like gum. Like you're trying to move your feet towards your goal and out of the chaos, but your feet are like sticking to the floor so that you can't take a step forward. And it's like you start to take a step and that gum like pulls your foot back to where you were. So it's really kind of a crazy thing that you can't get out of the chaos because you can't move your feet to get yourself going. So that's what we decided the funk was. That's what we thought, because first you have to, in order to get out of a funk, you have to know what the funk is. So it's that chaos that's going on that you can't get yourself out of. So how do you get out of a funk? So my Annette says she talks to me. This is great. So she talks to me to get out of a funk. I got to talk to myself in the mirror to get out of a funk. And that's actually what I was doing. And I started to realize that a lot of the problems that I'm having in my funk is that I'm not using my time properly. It's a bad time management, which I'm going to definitely work on by either identifying, how much time it takes to do stuff, or setting an alarm clock so that I know, I've done this for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Or the other day I talked about I wanted to invent an app that will literally electrocute you, send electric vibes into your hands if you're on Facebook for more than 20 minutes. So like if I'm wasting time on Facebook, my phone will turn into an electrocution machine and electrocute me so I can get off Facebook. I think an app like that would probably work. It could actually make money. Somebody said just, have it turn your phone off, which, that sounds boring. I'd rather, get a little bit of an electric shock, because then it'll train me to not stay on Facebook more than 20 minutes. So the thing, yes, doing time management, that's important, but that's long term. I talked to my niece, Cynthia, because, I said, what do you do to get out of a funk? And she suggested listening to music, and she likes African pop music, which I never even heard of African pop music. And I put it on, and it was actually pretty good. It's kind of like a reggae thing going on. So I listened to the African pop music. That was good. It started to bring me out of my funk. I started to move a little bit. And then another thing I started doing was, see Throgs Neck Bridge 4S?
Yeah, baby.
My driver he's all choked up. 4S, that's where we're going to go. So it's not so bad. We're already past the big Hutchison River Parkway mess.
You want one
So,
these?
The other thing I did was I decided that I wasn't laughing enough. The funk was causing me to be, a little moving slow, feeling down, low energy, and I wasn't laughing enough. So I put some comedy on my YouTube. I stopped listening to Jordan Peterson because he's very heavy. I couldn't even properly function and listen to what he was saying. And I put on some Dave Chappelle. And that made me really laugh. And I started, yucking it up a little. And it literally brought me back to life. Laughter brings oxygen into your body. It literally makes your body move. If you're laughing hard, you're doubled over, you're moving around just from laughing. So that was the other thing, short term, that I realized would take me out of the funk. So listening to music, listening to comedy. And the other thing was go out and see people. Now, it's easy to lay on the couch, pull the covers over your head, just be like, ugh, I can't deal with anybody. I'm in a funk. I just don't want to talk to anybody. I'm in a funk. But that's not good. It's certainly not good for me. So it was Irish Day in Long Beach, and it's a day that I could easily avoid. But instead, I decided to go out, and Miriam came with her dog, and her dog was a star. The dog was the star. I mean, dogs. First of all, be around dogs. I sent around a little cartoon on my other Facebook, Diana Gianturco, and it said, your stress level is high, let me take you to the lab. And she brought the lady to a Labrador Retriever. And it's really so true, because dogs will always make you feel better. Dogs will always relieve your stress and bring you out of a funk. So that's an important thing. People, other people that you like. And you don't have to be, I walked up and down the block, and there was a lot of people. I saw a lot of people I knew, people I didn't expect to know. Me and Miriam walked up and down. It was funny because, I live in the west end of Long Beach, and everybody comes out to Irish Day, and they were literally charging $20 to just walk in to the Cabana parking lot, just to stand in the parking lot for $20. You still had to pay for food, you still had to pay for drinks, but for $20 you could stand in the Cabana parking lot. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not paying $20 to stand in the Cabana parking lot. But because, they're trying to corral people in so that they're not drinking all over the streets, that's what they're doing. And there's live music, and it was great. We just walked around. It was fabulous. So that was another good thing that was short term, to be with people. So you're going south, see?
Yep.
George Washington south. It says George Washington, but that's not where we're going. So, yeah, those type of things. Think about the things that you're doing to, I got brick. Did you see that? Brake lights? There was this guy's brake lights. Sorry. This is very funny to me. Brake lights are shining on me and giving me like a little they're gone now. Now I'm back in the this is the light that you use when you put down the visor and then you open the thing and it shines a little light on you. This is what I'm using for lighting right now, so it's kind of funny. So we all get into the funk. We all can't deal with the chaos. We all drag our feet through it and make it worse. And I think the best idea is to think about long-term things that you can change, like time management, and also, getting people out of your life that are dragging you down and keeping you in a funk. Sometimes that happens a lot too. People that you know and love and care about, that you're trying to help, and they're in a funk and you're trying to help them, and then you become in a funk, and then you make them feel better, and then now you still feel like you got the funk on you, but not you, Annette. I'm not talking about you. But that was another thing I realized too, that I'm much better working one-on-one, and I've been reaching out to people one-on-one to work with them, to deal with the different things to help them. I mean, I like to help people, and one-on-one I can really focus on people that I'm dealing with. So I did that also a couple of times. I reached out to help people one-on-one because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to know that I helped somebody and it feels accomplished. So it's that sense of accomplishment. So there's long-term things and there's short-term things, and the short-term things are definitely the easier to approach because it's immediate gratification. Like, I made it out the door. I made it to, I did my, I put all the dishes in the dishwasher and I started the dishwasher. I mean, when you're in a real funk, sometimes you don't even want to start the dishwasher. So, and you forget about doing the dishes, put them in the dishwasher, but you don't even want to press the go button. So, those are the kind of things that are going to be short term, easy to do, small victories. The small victories. Focus on them, and then little by little it's going to take you into feeling better about your accomplishments, feeling like you can do stuff. And then I took 10 minutes, Annette, or 20 minutes, and I straightened out my office, put away a bunch of clothes, the clean clothes, whatever, hanging stuff up, moving stuff around, and cleaned off my desk while I was listening to Dave Chappelle. So I was laughing and doing stuff at the same time. And then I felt great. And then last night I went out and I saw my friend Patrick, and that was great because I always laugh the hardest when I'm with Patrick. So little by little, step by step. And then today I went to see John with Carmine and Lisa, which was just fabulous. And we had a blast. So when you find yourself in a funk, I don't know what you do. I'd love to hear about it, the different things that you do to get yourself out of a funk. But the things that I found was try and figure out how you got there and how you can avoid getting back into the funk. Whether it's people or you, time management. Mine's time management. Big thing. Big funky thing. And then do the small things. Do the easy goals that are going to let you feel better about yourself. And remember last week when I was talking about how I finally got a chance to write out my my little outline and for the show and get back into my usual routine, and then I left all those papers in the other room. Well, when I went back and I found the papers and they were in the other room, I found that I actually did speak about everything that I outlined, except the one thing that I didn't mention last week, and the one thing that the paper just stayed on my countertop all week long. And you know what it said? Forgive yourself for your mistakes. And I just kept reading it, and I realized that that's another thing that can keep you in a funk. If you feel like you're doing something, or you're not progressing, or you're just feeling funky, just forgive yourself. It's okay. It's okay if you're in a funk. You're allowed. You're allowed to be in a funk for any amount of time. A day, a week, a month. as long as you're trying to progress to get yourself out of it. So the funny thing about leaving that paper in the other room is that it carried over more, I think, appropriately to this week, which is forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for mistakes. Forgive yourself for having to start over again on the diet or on the exercise or on the relationship or on the project. It's okay if you have to do that stuff over and over because we're just human beings and there's a lot of stuff going on. If I could tell you, I see a million cars. We're moving like, a mile an hour right now, maybe less than a mile an hour. All of these people and all of these cars have all of their own stuff that they're trying to figure out and that they're trying to do in their life. And they're all in chaos right now because I could tell you, everybody else wants to already be home right now and everybody else is going to be an hour late. So they're all like, oh, well, that's what caused that guy to probably spin out. God help him. Now he rolled his vehicle. I hope he's okay. I hope he's not hurt. But the reality is just getting into a little fender bender is going to be much worse than being a half an hour or an hour late home because of traffic. But all these people, they all have trouble, they all have funk, and they all have to push themselves through it, and they all have to forgive themselves if it takes longer than they expect, and if it's not so easy sometimes. So that's my biggest takeaway this week is just to forgive yourself for your mistakes. Forgive yourself for being in a funk. And forgive yourself for not making it home in time for the show, and from doing it live from Carmine's car on the Hutchison River Parkway, heading towards the Throgs Neck Bridge because the Whitestone is a mess. Talk about a funk with cement on your shoes. Those cars aren't going anywhere. I think there's an accident there, and they will probably close the bridge. And guess what? We're going another way because between the three of us, we have so much GPS, it's ridiculous. We're like, do we want to go through back roads? Do we want to go through front roads? Or just to stay on the main road and tough it out, which is what we're doing. So that's where I'm going to leave off today. It's going to be an interesting week. I'm looking forward to it. I feel much better already. I'm coming out of my funk, which really feels good. Also, I was a little under the weather this week. That's another thing that'll get you into the funk. And, we're going into flu season. Wash your hands a lot, drink a lot of water, take vitamin C, whatever you need. Think about it. Think about, I'm not going to get the flu. If you think you want to take a flu shot to avoid it, do whatever you think because your brain is going to really help you about, staying healthy during the change of seasons. And if that's something that's an easy thing that can get you into a funk is your physical, body slowing down and just dragging you around. So I'm feeling much better physically. I'm feeling much better mentally. I'm a laugh riot, and I'm super happy about music and love and seeing John always makes me happy because he's a riot too, making fun of us. We made him do a jigsaw puzzle. Last week I got the jigsaw puzzle with 1,000 pieces like this tiny, and he just is like, this is impossible. So now this week I had 100 pieces and they were that big, and it was great. And we got it done. The four of us got it done in about an hour and a half or 2 hours. So he got into it. I gave him the chair. Here, do the beach chair. It was like an Adirondack chair. I thought it would be easy, but then when I started helping him with it, man, it was tough. The wood was going this way. The wood was going that way. It was light. It was dark. And I didn't realize I gave him one of the toughest pieces of the puzzle to deal with. But we all had a great time, and it was a great way to pass the time. So, find a great way to pass the time with people that you care about. If it's doing puzzles, if it's watching comedy, if it's singing songs, if it's dancing, another very important way to get out of a funk. I think it's medically shown. I think I saw in one of the articles that said dancing has been medically proven to lift your spirits. Like you had to medically prove that. I would love to have been in that experiment, but I already knew the answer, so I would have kind of been biased. So go out this week if you feel in a funk, get yourself out of it, or find people to help you get out of it, or go pet a dog, because that's going to be the easy way to get out of the funk, and keep moving forward. It's all right. You're just human, just like the rest of us, just like all the humans that are stuck in traffic, or getting ready for work for tomorrow, or doing whatever you're doing. just be happy that you're not rolled over in a vehicle around the block, because there's a lot worse things than being in a funk. And if you can, keep moving forward, like I said last week, if you fall down, if you look up, if you fall down so that you're looking up, because if you look up, you can get up. And if you can get up, you can start over. So have a wonderful week. I can't wait to see you next week. It is Columbus Day weekend next week, so who knows where I'll be on the long weekend. That's Sunday at 8 o'clock. But I'm sure wherever it is, it'll be fun and funny, and I'll be coming at you live at 8 o'clock. So thank you all for tuning in. I love you all, and love is all you need. Thank you. Bye.